Hello, my loves. Welcome to this slightly delayed episode. Mainly because I've been working busy. We'll talk about gear shaming because honestly, it's grinding my gears and I've had enough because it's happened. It happened this week. I thought we would be on gear shaming, particularly when we recognise somebody is not in the same stratosphere of career, same location of career that we are. But it happened. And it didn't just happen to my assistant, it happened to me by the same individual. And when I tell you the rage I felt, and we're going to talk about gear shaming and why it's such a huge issue in the photography world. And we're going to start off with the fact that, I love gear. Like, that sounds really dodgy. I love camera equipment. That's what I want to say. I love it. You love it. I love it. 70% of the videos, it seems, on YouTube about photography are technically about gear reviews. And they have a huge watch value. I watch them. I watch gear reviews on how to fix my car. I watch items to get for my car. I watch on everything, not just photography. So I get it. But then comes the gear shaming, because every time something new comes out, it instills in people's heads that perhaps their stuff is now obsolete. It is not obsolete. It's just that something new has come out. And I know this is part of marketing, and I know this is part of, but it's starting to really get into the community, and I'm seeing people suffer, and I'm seeing people in groups suffer. I don't want people to feel like they can't have the gear they have to try and be a photographer, okay? I know that there is equipment that can do the job better. I know that there is equipment that can make the job easier. But if you can do the job in a way that makes you happy and your end client happy, then who are we to tell you that it's wrong, okay? There is better gear out there, yes, but we don't all have an infinite budget. So if you are listening to this on the podcast, welcome to the Loud Lens. If you're listening and watching this on YouTube, hello, and vice versa, jump on to see him. If you are not on the podcast, you're not noticing that I've got bright orange and pink hair this time. I am actually sat on the floor because I'm busy packing, which you can just see my outfits behind me, which you won't see on the podcast, obviously, but I'm packing because I'm traveling quite a lot in the next month. I am done with gear shaming. I have got gear shame saying, give me some background on it. Doing a photo shoot, having a great time. There was a videographer there. I brought an assistant who wasn't so much assistant, more someone just who really wanted to see behind the scenes, more like a work experience, but fully cleared. Everything was there. And they were allowed and authorized to take photos on their little camera. And they had some sort of Canon, I don't know, entry level one. And this videographer looked at them and went, "Is that what you're working with?" And they said, "Yes." He went, "Seriously? You want to be a pro, you're going to have to upgrade that." Now, I believe there is a way in which you can deliver that kind of feedback. They're acutely aware that they need better gear, but at the time, they were doing a great job. They were recording the behind the scenes of us. And do you know what? They were brilliant. And do you know what? Because she's so upset by what this person said, I can't share those images now because of what this person said to them. This is the damage it's doing. People are stopping up and coming photographers, or those of us who are perhaps not financially affluent in any way or don't want to get into debt, from really doing what they do because you're telling them it's not good enough even before you've seen the results. And let me tell you, I've been in those beginner Facebook groups. I've seen people pull out amazing work on a Canon Rebel T3 or whatever it's called. Do you remember Brandon Wolfall? He had one of those on a 50mm and he managed to get himself a book deal and has global success and is now a brand ambassador for many people. But he started there and his work was exceptional. I own that book, Luminos. Let me find it on there so you can have a look. If you haven't got it, it was an era, it was a beautiful time. It really inspired me. In fact, I did this video that I'll put here that was all about him. He was inspiring, and that was on his simple camera. I see photographers every now and then pulling it out the bag with exceptional work, and the kit win is quite surprising. But what happens is people see the image, go, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Ask them what their camera is, what their setting is, what they were using, and then they get ripped apart. And I thought maybe this was a one-off, so I had a quick look in some of these groups. No, it's not a one-off. People literally enjoy doing this. Do you know what it does? It gives imposter syndrome an absolute energizer bite in the ass for you, because you already feel uncomfortable as a photographer. Naturally, in the creative industry, we feel like we're not good enough, we're not good. And then when someone says the equipment using isn't good enough, debt is not fun and debt is not sexy. And we are in a financial climate that does not bode well if we're in debt. Okay, we need to be honest about that. Many businesses are suffering. I know for a fact that there are 2 photographers who are in a Facebook group I'm in who are in absolute hit state because they invested loads of money and their businesses did not take off, and now they're stuck with a lot of stuff. I don't care if you buy the latest Windows, the latest MacBook, whatever it is to shoot on. I genuinely don't care, and I don't believe a client normally does. There are some clients who would prefer you did it because that's what they want, but most clients just want to see the end result. And yet us as photographers, we've almost decided that we need to do this to make ourselves even feel better. Now, I am part of the comedy act where I think it's quite funny when we rip into each other a little bit. Okay. I don't think there's any harm in that. You know, there was the viral one, everyone's going viral where they were closing lids on things and saying, "Oh, this is a Leica, click. This is a Sony, click." And then they closed a bin and went, "This is Nikon." That's quite funny, okay? And no one genuinely believes that Nikon are trash. I don't think they would, because every camera brand has its fans and has its pros and cons and whatever. There are certain brands that I have used, I haven't enjoyed, and it's purely down to the fact I don't like how they feel in my hand. It's got nothing to do with anything else, okay? But you like what you like. Now you can go off and you can rent kit. Cargo past, you can rent kit, you can go off and you can buy kit if you want to, but I don't think people should be pressured into get it to stay ahead of the curve of every bit of product that's coming out. Okay, there are some products that have come out that I genuinely don't see the need for me to upgrade what I've got. Did I jump into mirrorless straight away? No. Do you know why? Because I didn't need to. I didn't need to upgrade it. And yet when I was in a Facebook group, people were saying, "How have you not gone mirrorless?" I don't know, Maury, maybe because it's $6,000 for the level I need, and I just don't have the justification to spend that right now. Okay. "Oh, but if you're a pro, you'd have to get this." Do you know what? No. I think it benefits you in the long run, perhaps, to have an amazing kit. And it does. You know, if you need to do a certain job and you need that capability, yes. But can you be a pro on certain kit that is maybe not so great? Yes. I have a Godox V1 flash, okay? I also have a Nikon Speedlight that was met at the time, was top of the range, was amazing. It gave out. What didn't give out was the Godox V1, and it saved my ass. Do you think that makes me less of a photographer? No, I just had backups, okay? I don't care when people say to me, "Oh, I've only got a Godox." Why does it matter? Do you know what? Godox is rebranded in this country, in the US and everywhere else by loads of different brands. Yes, you get your UK, America-centric client experience, whatever it is, and your excess warranty and whatever. I'm not here to shame you what kit you use. I'm not going to laugh at someone if they whack out a Canon, a Sony, a Leica. I might get jealous if they like it slightly, but you know, I'm not going to get jealous. I'm not going to say you're not going to do good. I have seen exceptional work in these beginner groups, and I mean it, done by people with just the basic kit. I remember shooting on my D90 and thinking I was the dog's bollocks. I was not. I was quite far from it. In fact, my work looked like dog's bollocks. And I was like, whoa. And I ended up upgrading. There was a guy in the beginners Facebook group for photography who shot on a D90 and his work was beautiful. I mean, it was stunning. Could I tell it was done with a slightly less advanced shutter sensor? Yes. Was the work exceptional? Yes. Did he get loads of likes on it? Yes. Why are we competing? We are just allowing people to feel less than because we want to somehow have this elevated rule that what we have is better. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm all for it. Getting the kit that you need. Buy secondhand. I just bought secondhand from Grays of Westminster. I saved myself like £400 because the camera had been shot, I think, 30 times or some ridiculous low amount. Literally nothing. It came with everything I needed. It came with a warranty. I'm really happy. I mean, I love Grays of Westminster, that goes without saying. But I don't think we need to be shaming people, and the gear shaming has to kind of stop. I'm all for like the little odd bit of marketing. I get it working, the viral thing of it. But to go up to people and other photographers and slate them for the gear they're using and yet they're getting the results, no. Yes, there is certain equipment that does better at the job and you should look to perhaps hire it on a more permanent level, buy it if you can, but learn to outgrow that kit, because honestly, with the climate that's going right now, I am not here to tell people to run off and spend loads of money. I love gear reviews. I love them, and I will probably do them as and when I need them. My gear reviews are a little bit more in the practicality and is it better than what I've got? Would I upgrade? That's kind of how I go down. But I don't think as photographers, we need to be gear shaming to people. And as that videographer who gear shamed my assistant, you're a douchebag. What you did was absolutely diabolical and highlighted the fact that this isn't always a friendly place to be. And it should be, because we are not in competition with each other. I know people like to say we're not. We're hired on a job. You didn't need to do what you did. You didn't need to slate them. You didn't need to do that. They're aware. No one needs, people are aware, you know? I want the mentality now to be more conscious spending as and when we need it, rather than chasing constantly because we think if we get the next thing, if we have that gear acquisition syndrome, the gas that everyone talks about, we're somehow going to be an amazing photographer. No. Some of my favorite photographers literally shoot on the most basic of cameras. I mean, and then there are some of them who shoot on the most elaborate ones. And you know what? They still appeal to me, their work. I love film cameras. I mean, like, the point is shoot the simplicity of it. I love it. It has an appeal for me. I love big campaigns. And yet every now and then you see a massive campaign shot on a really low fi camera and everyone goes, oh my God, are you going to tell them that they're not professional? It's about how you use the equipment. And then the equipment you use is a conscious choice. But it also, let's not forget that we all started somewhere and we don't all have an infinite pot of gold to be delving into. Anyway, this has been Khandie. This has been The Loud Lens. I am going to go. I will take you on my travels quite a lot this month. I have been to Inverness already, so that's Scotland technically. I was due to go to Wales this weekend, but something else has come up. But it looks like I'm going to Estonia, and I will also be in Norway again. I can't wait to take you along for the ride, and I'll see you all in the next video. But let me know, what is the weirdest gear you've bought that was the most pointless? Or in fact, what was the most pointless gear you've bought? Because that's always fun to know. Take care of you, and I'll see you all on either the podcast or the YouTube. Bye!